I love morning routines. It's the time of day that I get to cross off a few personal items on my to-do list, which helps me feel my best self. It's a time of day that I completely disconnect from my phone so I don't get distracted from checking texts, emails, or social media. And over the years, the routines have changed and evolved, but the results are the same. I'm prepared for the day in front of me. Today, we're going to dive into the 6 steps that I take to create momentum for the day ahead. Let's fire it up. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to It's the Bearded Man podcast with your favorite, the world's favorite bearded man, Babe. Each week on these solo podcasts, I dive into topics to help you become the best version of yourself. Now, do I have all the answers? Absolutely not. This is just my bearded wisdom that I hope brings value to you. Now, if you enjoy this episode at any moment in time, all that I could ever ask from you is please just screenshot this episode on whatever platform you're listening in on, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, you name it. Post it to your IG story. Tag me at Babe. That's B-O, 3 B's, 4 A's, and a Y. Share the podcast, your IG story. Let me know what was the biggest takeaway. How did this episode change your perspective? You guys and gals posting this week over week helps grow the show. We are growing this naturally and organically, one brick at a time, one episode at a time. So please keep sharing it out. It really does help the show. And I get fired up every time I see you guys and gals posting. So know that it is so much appreciated. Morning routines. If you've been following along with me for some time now, you know that I live and preach by you win the morning, you win the day. Goes hand in hand. Excuse me. Now, I can't credit where or when I heard this quote, but it's just forever stuck with me over the last couple of years. The idea is that if we can get a couple wins under our belt in the morning, it is going to help set us up for success for the rest of the day. This isn't about who gets up the earliest. This is about prioritizing those first couple hours of every morning and checking off the things that make you feel your best self. In my opinion, there is no perfect morning routine that works for everyone. It's not a one-size-fits-all. As humans, we all have different wants and needs, and so it is impossible to come up with a morning ritual that is going to be perfect for everyone. The only way that I've been able to find my routine has been through trial and error over the last couple of years. And when I think I've got it, that I found the perfect morning routine, that this is the perfect morning routine, something ends up getting changed or swapped out or added within weeks. And we tend to evolve with time, and so too do our morning routines. I'm always making adjustments as I go. The only way I'm able to be productive and approach the day with excitement is because my morning routines create momentum for the day ahead. In this pocket of time, I'm able to prioritize myself before the world by doing the things that help me prepare my mind, body, and soul for the 24 hours in front of me. If I don't get these things done in the morning, it is likely not going to happen because life will pull me in a lot of different directions, and I'll make up excuses as to why I can't do them. By prioritizing them first thing in the morning of every morning, I leave no excuse to not do them. They are the positive hurdles that I must overcome first thing every morning, and I leave myself no other option but to get them done in order for me to carry on with my day. These are the 6 steps for creating momentum for the day ahead, and see if some of them, maybe you're using some of these ideas, maybe you want to include some of them. Let's find out. Number 1, make my bed. In order to create any type of momentum in life, you have to get going. The momentum doesn't build by standing still. There's something to be said about making your bed every morning as the first small step in the right direction. Within the first 2 minutes of you being awake, you've already crossed off something on the to-do list. And even though it may feel like nothing, I've learned to acknowledge it as a task that I've completed, and that mentally starts to create the momentum for the day ahead. As I continue to check things off on the list, the momentum continues to grow, which then allows me to continue making progress through my day. No longer am I seeking for motivation or inspiration to get things done. I'm allowing the momentum to push me in the direction of where I need to be headed. So step number 1, Making my bed every morning helps build the initial momentum for the day ahead. As small of a step as it might be, it is the first item on my daily to-do list that I get to cross off, which helps jumpstart my day. Number 2, no phone for the first 3 hours of the day. Now, as I said that out loud, I am sure some of you listening are thinking, there is absolutely no way that you don't check your phone for the first 3 hours of the day. This may come off as a surprise, but I promise you that during the week, I live by this. When I wake up every morning around 5 a.m., I turn off the alarm and I put my phone back down and I continue on with these routines. After I've been up for about an hour or so, I will very briefly check my texts to make sure there isn't an emergency. And as long as there isn't, all texts, calls, social media can wait till after I've primed myself for the day. I love being connected to the world at my fingertips. But if I don't create the space between myself and my phone, I'll never find the time to get things done because all I'll do is scroll, respond to people, and I won't have the time or space to think about myself. So step number 2, no phone for the first 3 hours of the day. Other than checking briefly to see if there are any emergencies, I put all of my attention towards my morning routine so that I can truly get myself ready for the day ahead. I've done my best to create a healthy space between myself and being connected to the world at my fingertips. Number 3, clear my mind. Believe it or not, there is a lot of shit going on in my head at any moment of time. And because of that, I need to take care of it. 2 practices that help clear my mind are meditation and journaling. After I make my bed, I have a very light snack, breakfast style, to get some fuel in my body. And then I meditate for 20 minutes of every morning. This is so crucial because I'm creating a space to sit with my immediate morning thoughts and giving them the space to breathe before I jumpstart my day. Have you ever woke up in the morning and something good or bad comes to mind before you can even open your eyes? Well, this is a perfect way to sit with them. The meditation has allowed me to use the good thoughts as inspiration for the day ahead, and it's allowed me to take a moment to hear the bad thoughts instead of completely ignoring them and just moving forward with my day. After the 20-minute meditation, I go into a brief morning journal, which consists of 5 prompts, 3 things I'm grateful for, a positive experience from the past 24 hours, 3 things that I'm excited for, 3 priorities I have, and just the overall impact that I want to have on the community and the world. This helps me ground where I am right now, reminds me of the small things I should be grateful for and what I need to do on the day ahead. It also gives me perspective of the bigger picture and what I'm working towards. Clearing my mind and flushing out the good and bad thoughts is necessary for me to ground myself in the moment and to go into the day with a clear mind. So step number 3, clearing my mind daily helps me acknowledge the good and bad thoughts that may arise. The combination of meditation and journaling gets my mind right and ready for the day ahead. Number 4, creative work. I get a large portion of my creative work, such as writing these scripts, done in the early mornings. There's no distractions from my phone. My mind is completely refreshed from a night of sleep. And after I've meditated and journaled, my mind is clear and ready to rip. Carving out 45 to 60 minutes every morning feels more like 2 to 3 hours, because I'm able to get into a flow rather quickly and just see where the pages take me. I'm not overthinking, I'm just flowing. Sometimes there are mornings that I don't necessarily have anything creative to work on, and so I'll just read. And that can really inspire me or just get the mind flowing for the day ahead. All this to say, it's a window of time for me to cross off something that I value, that is important to me. That early morning space to complete a task can be different for everyone, but being able to complete it first thing of every morning can and will be very rewarding and refreshing. So step number 4, completing creative work early in my day is super beneficial because I have no distractions and I'm coming off a full night's rest, which means I have the energy to think. Number 5, morning sweat. If I could only have one morning routine, this would be it. Getting a morning sweat before the day starts helps me get my mind, body, and soul ready for the day. It's a time for me to throw on some music, get in a good workout, and sift through any questions that I have in my life. For me, it's usually running or lifting weights, and sometimes the occasional hot yoga session when I can squeeze it in. By getting the body moving in the beginning of my day, I'm truly warming it up for whatever I have in front of me for the next 24 hours. Am I truly motivated to work out every morning? No. For example, this morning I felt a little bit of resistance, but I continued to push myself and do it. And I just don't allow myself to have any other option. So even though I felt the resistance today, it's just part of me where I go, I don't care how bad I don't feel about doing it or how bad I feel right now. I need to do this. Going into a workout, sometimes I feel great and sometimes I don't. But 100% of the time after completing it, I am so happy that I did it. I let that end feeling be the inspiration to get me off my ass and get the job done. So step number 5, morning sweat allows me to prepare my mind, body, and soul for the day ahead. It truly warms me up for the next 24 hours ahead of me. Quick break from today's episode and then we'll get right back to it. This episode today is brought to you by Tenzo Tea, the greatest matcha brand in the world. 2021, I transitioned from drinking only coffee to then mixing in green matcha. And let me tell you, green matcha has been a game changer because it gives me sustained energy throughout my day, every single day. 2 scoops, sometimes 3, honest times, most times 3. 3 scoops of Tenzo with a little bit of almond milk. I mix that up and I'm fired up for the day. This show is all about helping you reach your potential, and I for sure need this energy throughout my day. So it has been such a game changer. 64% of American adults drink coffee every day, and they pay the price with dehydration, jitters, anxiety, and headaches. Switching out the morning coffee for a matcha helps us stay level-headed, focused, and avoids the coffee crash. Tenzo matcha contains natural caffeine and L-theanine, which keeps you energized and feeling like a Zen monk. A Zen monk, ladies and gentlemen. This product tastes great and also makes a delicious a delicious matcha latte, which is what I make, and I'm a big fan. If you head over to tenzotea.co, use my promo code TheBeardedMan, all one word, that's 25% off your order. Once again, tenzotea.co, TheBeardedMan, all one word, gets you 25% off your order. 36 milligrams of caffeine per half teaspoon, so there's plenty of that. And it's really great. I really can't speak highly enough of it. I use it every single day. I wouldn't promote a product on here unless I used it. And Tenzo Tea is a product that I highly suggest. Head over to tenzotea.co. Use my promo code TheBeardedMan, all one word. Get energized and crush your day ahead. Now back to today's episode. Number 6, breakfast of a champion. Growing up, my father used to preach, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. And although I brushed this comment to the side often when I was growing up, there is some truth to it. Food is our fuel. It's what keeps us moving on a daily basis, and it is necessary in so many ways for us to operate. Finding a breakfast that makes me feel energized and fueled is the last and final step before I really step into the day. This specific meal has evolved over the years and similar to my morning routines. And we all have to test and try different things until we find something that clicks for us. Now I eat the same breakfast every weekday, and I allow myself to change it up, on the weekends. But for the most part, I'm eating the same thing during the week. Do I get bored of the same breakfast daily? Not really, because I know how good it makes me feel. And that's all I care about is feeling good. So step number 6, eating a breakfast of a champion helps fuel me for the day ahead. In order to operate at my highest level, I need to fuel my body with the proper foods and breakfast necessary if I want to feel the best I can for the 24 hours ahead of me. To recap, morning routines help us build momentum for the day ahead. The philosophy that I live by is you win the morning, you win the day. It's not about how early you get up. It's about how do you spend that first 1, 2, or 3 hours of your day. Morning routines are not a one-size-fits-all. It's something that we must all figure out for ourselves by testing and trying different routines until we find something that clicks. 6 steps that I take to create momentum for the day ahead. Number 1, making my bed every morning helps build the initial momentum for the day ahead. As small of a step as it might be, it is the first item on my daily to-do list that I cross off, which helps jumpstart my day. Number 2, no phone for the first 3 hours of the day. Other than checking briefly to see if there are any emergencies, I put all of my attention towards my morning routine so that I can truly get myself ready for the day ahead. I've done my best to create healthy space between myself and being connected to the world at my fingertips. Number 3, clearing my mind daily helps me acknowledge the good and bad thoughts that may arise. The combination of meditation and journaling gets my mind right and ready for the day ahead. Number 4, completing creative work early on in my day is super beneficial because I have no distractions and I'm coming off a full night's rest, which means I have energy to think. Number 5, morning sweat allows me to prepare my mind, body, and soul for the day ahead. It truly warms me up for the next 24 hours ahead of me. And number 6, eating a breakfast of a champion helps fuel me for the day ahead. In order to operate at my highest level, I need to fuel my body with the proper foods and breakfast necessary if I want to make the best of the 24 hours ahead of me. Challenge for the listeners: spend 10 minutes within the next 24 hours and consider how you spend the first hour of your day. Do you prioritize the routines that help you feel your best self? Are there certain changes you wish to make? Let this episode be the inspiration to hopefully make the necessary changes that you want. Questions from the Stay Dialed In community. That is you, beautiful ladies and gentlemen. Sander, do you notice any difference between the different foods that you start your morning with? That's a great question. As I said before, I tend to stick to the same breakfast now because I know it works for me. It allows me to feel full, energized, and ready to attack the day. If I had a full course meal, I would most likely feel a little bit different and maybe even tired or sluggish to make any progress. So I keep my breakfast very, very tight. It's truthfully just a bowl of cereal with bananas and a protein shake. It's enough where it fuels me up for the day ahead, but I'm not weighed down because I overate. So I think it's a balance of trying to figure out what foods make you feel your best self and then doubling down on the ones that do work. And then lastly, Charlie, how do you get back on track if you miss a day following your routine? By giving myself permission to miss a day when I need it. That's how I get back on track. I give myself the permission that if I need to miss a day, it is okay. As humans, we're not perfect and we're going to have hiccups along the way. Anytime that I miss a day with any routine, I just tell myself, pick up where you left off. Tomorrow, when you get back on it, pick up where you left off. Sometimes missing a routine or a day of routines can be a good reset, and it can re-inspire you and appreciate that routine that you have more again. So when you go do it, because when you consistently do it day after day, it's great. You're making progress. But sometimes we take it for granted, and skipping a day can make us almost it's helped me be re-inspired to get back to it. And anytime that I'm feeling bored or, it's like I just feel like it's the same thing every day, that space, that day off can really make a difference. So I think it's just giving yourself the permission and picking up where you left off when you get back to it. Pod review of the week. This is being pulled from the iTunes podcast app. And we have a pod review of the week. This is coming from my man, Sean McDonough. I hope I pronounced that right. I probably screwed it up, and I apologize, Sean. It's not you, brother. I just am terrible with pronouncing last names. The review says, always delivering A+ content. Let's go. Gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Big fan of that. Let's freaking get it, baby. He said, they just keep getting better and better. Nothing can stop you now. The Bearded Man is a force, and as a listener, you are guaranteed to gain value every episode. Appreciate all you do. Sean, I appreciate you for leaving the review, but also for you consuming the content, because without feedback like this, it would be damn near hard and impossible for me to keep going, because it's really the feedback that really keeps me inspired to keep wanting to share and keep wanting to post. So thank you for taking the time to do so. If you are a listener and have not yet already, please head over to the iTunes podcast app, leave a one-word, one-sentence review, and you can be the review of the week. If you're not listening on iTunes, that's totally fine. On Spotify, you can leave a 1 to 5 star rating. I'm hoping for the 5 stars. So if you want to do that, it would be greatly appreciated. Spotify at this moment doesn't allow you to leave a full review, but 1 to 5 stars, that really does help. We're at 5 stars right now. I think of over 72 reviews on Spotify. So that is a great, great, great start. And I love that so far. Okay. If you guys and gals enjoyed this episode, I really hope you did, on morning routines, please screenshot this episode on whatever platform you're listening in on. Post it to your IG story. Tag me at Bob A. That's B-O, 3 B's, 4 A's and a Y. Let me know, how did this episode change your perspective? Is there any morning routine you plan to add into your day? Is there a routine you plan to take out of your day? How did this episode change your perspective? I would be curious to know. So please post it to your story. Tag me. I hit every single one of you back. And I really do appreciate you guys and gals, sharing out and posting it. But that is it for today. Episode 183, Morning Routines, 6 Steps to Create Momentum for the Day Ahead. It's the Bearded Man Podcast. See ya.